Hi Year 6, Mr. Cole here for this week's SPAG lesson, and it's all about standard and non-standard English. Now I quite enjoy this one because I get to have a go at some very silly accents.
And here comes the nation's cleverest woman.
Can I help you?
Battered sausage, chips, deep fried pizza, chips. Rochelle want chips.
Excuse me?
Hey, I'm talking to Rochelle! I can't believe you've just done that.
Yeah, I want chips.
Another chip.
I'm sorry, we're not a chip shop.
Whatever!
Nor a bank. You know, we're a building society.
Yeah, but new, but yeah, but new, but yeah, but new, but
We do
yeah, but...
current accounts, savings, mortgages.
Speak English.
We have no shareholders to pay dividends to. And our focus is our customers. Would you like an account?
Yeah. With ketchup on the side.
At Nationwide, we don't have any shareholders.
You don't even do chicken nuggets.
Our focus is you.
So there we go, we've got Vicky Pollard in action, showing us all about her version of non-standard English. Now, if you listen very carefully to some of the words she was using, they didn't sound quite right. Most certainly was non-standard English. Now let's watch this next video and think about why is the next clip funny.
So how did the dogfight with Jerry go, Biffy?
Well, there was all this shooting here with guns and that. And I was like really freaked out. Really did my head in.
That's like so not what you want in your life right now.
Do you know what I mean? This is him like bang, yeah. And this is me like bang, bang, yeah. And then he's all like rat-a-tat-a-tat, and I'm like talking to the gun because the cockpit ain't listening. You know what I'm saying?
Mad? You must be stressed out big time.
Do you know what I mean? And they're all like totally disrespecting us and like these really bad racists, innit?
BBC, yeah?
Hey, check this.
We now cross to Downing Street for an address from Mr. Churchill, the Prime Minister. We shall give 'em licks on the beaches, yeah? And like the landing grounds and that. And film it on our mobiles, big time. You know what I mean? All the ladies say yeah.
For real?
Is it? Go in it, go in it.
I love that clip. It's so funny, but it's because you don't expect them to speak in that non-standard English way, using lots of dialect, lots of slang. Their accent sounds incredibly posh and formal, but the words they're using is anything but. So a very clever clip. Okay, so let's have a look at standard English. So standard English is the form of English used in almost all written texts. It's speech in very formal situations. So all English speakers need to know how to write and speak standard English. Because when you're writing to somebody, if it's not in standard English, they might not understand what you mean. And it's not always appropriate to use non-standard English in your writing, very rarely in fact. So here's some types of non-standard English. We've got dialect, which may be regional, so from different areas, or ethnic, depending on what ethnic backgrounds the person's from. It may have its own grammatical rules, and sometimes it has its own words. And there's also slang, which usually relates to an age group. Special words and phrases used to show membership of the group may exclude and confuse others. Here's a couple of examples of non-standard English. So first of all, we've got our dialect. So if you were from up north in England, you might say something like this. Hey, up, lad, you want a jam butty? A jam butty? So a northern way of saying things. And I'm being silly putting on the accent, but it's a phrase that maybe is more commonly used up north to describe a jam sandwich. Now, down south, people might say, all right, mate, want a jam sarnie? A jam sarnie. So, jam sarnie, jam sandwich. And apparently, in Scotland, they go, all right, lad, I want a geely peely. A geely piece from Scotland. Another form of non-standard English are slang words, which are often used by particular groups. And the groups that use them may end up excluding other groups because people might not understand what they mean. The examples given are here are cool, rad, fab, wicked. So they're quite old-fashioned examples. A more modern one you might understand is sick. That was well sick, somebody might say when they're saying something's good. Also, we've got the example of text messaging, abbreviating or shortening words into simple letters. So you are great to get across the meaning. We've also got jargon words, often used by professions. So we've got a shout, which is used by firefighters when they're talking about a fire appliance getting sent somewhere. A wrap, so when a filmmaker finishes making their movie. Or a masthead, which is some information that newspaper workers might use to describe the information on that paper. Then there's colloquial words. Now, colloquial words are words sort of get used in everyday speech between people. They're not formal at all, but they're much more appropriately used in speech rather than the written form. So words like brilliant, okay, fantastic. You might add that into your speech, but you probably wouldn't write it if you were communicating with somebody in the same way. Let's have a look at some examples of non-standard English. So this first one, it says, I works hard. Now that doesn't sound right, does it? I works hard. It should, of course, be I work hard. I work hard. That S isn't needed there. You has one. You has one. What should that one be? Have a think about it. Hopefully you're right and you realise it should have been you have one. Let's have a look at the next one. They is sad. They is sad? What should that one be? They are sad. They are sad. It's all about making sure you're choosing the correct word for the sentence so it makes sense. I were going. I were going. I was going. I was going. We was there. We was there. What should that one be? We were there. We were there. The class work hard. Does that sound right? Or should it be the class works hard? Let's have a look at this one. Which are correct? Now remember, the subject of the sentence and the verb in the sentence have to agree. First one is, I seen you and I saw you. Which one of those is correct? Well, of course, it has to be, I saw you. So, let's put a cross on that one so we know it's wrong. I seen you. It is broken. It's broke. Which one is correct? Have a think. Hopefully, you've realised it's broke is incorrect. It's got a contraction, but the verb is incorrectly used in that instance. It is broken. I done that last week. I did that last week. Which one is correct? What should you say to be standard English? It is, of course, I did that last week. So let's cross. I done. I should have gone. I should have gone. Now, I see this mistake all the time in children's writing. People get muddled because when we say it, we quite often say, I should have, which is, of course, the contraction should have gone. And it sounds a bit like of. So the correct answer in this instance is, I should have gone. So let's cross out this one there. There's also double negatives, and they're not standard English either, because you've got two negatives in the same sentence which cancel each other out. So, for example, you don't know nothing. You've got do not, don't, and nothing. So they're both saying negative, so they cancel each other out. Doesn't make any sense. So for each of these, what I want you to think about is what is the correct way to write them. So you've got you don't know nothing. She never saw nobody. I'm not helping no more. I ain't got none. You're not going nowhere. So have a think. Pause the video now and decide what the correct way would be to write each of those. Let's have a look at the answers then. So you might have slight variations of this, but you don't know nothing, you don't know anything, or you know nothing. You never saw nobody. She didn't see anybody, or she saw nobody. I'm not helping no more. I'm not helping anymore, or I'm helping no longer. I ain't got none. I haven't got any. I have got none. And you're not going nowhere. You aren't going anywhere, or you are going nowhere. Don't worry if you've got something very slightly different, as long as you haven't got two negatives and your sentence is grammatically correct, should be fine. We also have to think about pronouns and the different form that they have depending on the sentence and the job they are doing. So, non-standard examples. Dad and me went home. They asked James and I. We lost us books. He did it himself. Give me them books. So have a think. What would the standard way of saying that be? Think about the pronouns used in these sentences. So we've got me, I, us, his, them. How can we correct those sentences so they are grammatically correct and written in the standard form? Let's have a look at the answers. So, Dad and me went home. The standard way is saying Dad and I went home. Because if Dad wasn't there, you wouldn't say me went home. You would, of course, say I went home. So let's look at the next one. They asked James and I. Well, it should be they asked James and me. Because if James wasn't there, you wouldn't say they asked I. You would say they asked me. So that's how we know which one to use. We lost us books. Really doesn't make any sense. We need to use the pronoun are. We lost our books. He did it himself. Should be he did it himself. Give me them books. And we all know it should be give me those books. So think very carefully about the pronouns you are using. Adjectives should not be used as adverbs. So remember, adverbs describe the verbs. Adjectives describe nouns. So in this instance, she sang beautiful. Well, you can't sing. You can sing beautifully, but you cannot sing beautiful. He did it proper. I played good. It was real shiny. So of course it should look like this. She sang beautifully. He did it properly. I played well. It was really shiny. Make sure you're using adverbs, not adjectives, when you're describing actions, verbs. Now, we also get these questions in SPAG tests that come up and they look a little bit like this. And sometimes we have to decide which sentence is the most formal. So here's 4 examples. Can you work out which one it should be? So which is most formal? Your presence is requested at the wedding of our daughter. You would like to come to our daughter's wedding, wouldn't you? We'd love you to join us for our daughter's wedding. Our daughter's getting married. Please come. Have a think. Which one do you think it is? Which is the most formal? Well, I'm going to be going for this one. Oh, I've got the backwards ticks on again. And I missed. Let's move that over so it looks a bit neater. Okay. Your presence is requested at the wedding of our daughter. Presence and requested, formal verb choices there. Which sentence is written in standard English here? 2 sports teams come to our school yesterday. That didn't sound quite right to me. My friend was tidying the classroom. My friend was tidying the classroom. Okay. Today the children done their school play. Something's not quite right there. The teachers was going to send a letter next week. I'm not happy with some of the verbs here, so I'm not happy with come in that one. 2 sports teams came, it should be, shouldn't it? My friend was tidying the classroom. Well, that one seems okay, I think. Today, the children done their school play. No, I think it should be did. The teachers was going to send a letter next week. No, the teachers were going to send. So I think we need to be looking at this one. Oh, let's get my tick again. There you go. Always doing the backwards ticks. Again, which is more formal. Watching too much television should be avoided. You shouldn't watch too much TV. Watching lots of TV isn't a good idea. You really should try not to watch loads of telly. Now, decide what is it about these sentences that make 3 of them sound more informal and 1 of them sound much more formal. Well, let's have a look at the words. We've got shouldn't here, which is a contraction, which we don't use in formal writing. And we've also got TV, which is an abbreviation. So that can't be formal. Next one, watching lots of TV isn't a good idea. We've got a contraction. We've got that abbreviation to TV again. Lots of as well. Doesn't sound very formal to me. You should really try not to watch loads of telly. Well, telly's not even a proper word. It's a bit of slang, really, isn't it? So that isn't formal. It must be the first one. Watching too much television should be avoided. Next example. You decide as I go through it. Circle the most formal option in each box below to complete the invitation. We would like to invite you to a catch-up, a celebration, a get-together. To mark this, we've got fab, really cool, momentous occasion. It will start up, commence, kick off at 5 p.m. So which is the most formal in each of those? Well, let's have a look. We would like to invite you to I want to go celebration on this one. That's definitely, oh dear, that's no good, is it? Let's go back. I'm just going to underline it because I'm having problems here. Celebration. To mark this fab, really cool, or momentous occasion. Definitely a momentous occasion. And then it will start up, commence, kick off. Well, commence does mean to start up. So I think commence is the formal word choice there. So they're the three you should have got. Okay, on the Google Drive, you have got a sheet that has two parts to it. This bit here and this bit there. What I want you to do is rewrite them using formal standard English. So you want to take out the contractions. You want to make sure that your verb agrees with your subject. You don't want any slang in there. Make sure you've written it correctly. So there are 8 in total for you to write out to yourself. I will leave the answers on the Google Drive as well, so please make sure you check your answers are correct. Thanks for listening, Year 6. Please let me know how you get on. See you next time.